Wow. I mean, what is there to say about that? If, like me, you care about the human rights, and this has been the Human Rights World Cup, the wrong team went through. Okay? But England were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And there's a lot of redemption for a lot of people in that team, mainly the manager, Gareth Southgate, and the one player that he picked that I think majority of England fans, majority of football fans would have looked at and said, why are you doing that? And that's Jordan Henderson. Those two today, they really showed why they are in the positions that they're in, why Gareth Southgate is England manager, and why Jordan Henderson is in the middle of the midfield in that England team, because they both did really, really well, and you have to give it to them. Another player as well that, for me, shouldn't actually be in the starting lineup when you look at how the Premier League has gone this season is Jordan Pickford, because Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale, for me, have been the standout keepers in the Premier League this season. And, the one that gets picked is Jordan Pickford. But what Gareth Southgate has done here is that he's played players that have never, ever let him down. And when I say that, the one person that comes to mind is Harry Maguire. And do you know what? It's worked for him. This was a really, really good performance. And when you look at England's performances in the 4 games in the World Cup so far, only one against America was below par. And yeah, that was very bad. But against Iran, looked brilliant. Against Wales, again, looked really, really good. Today, I mean, that was one hell of a performance. It really was. You have to respect that. First half an hour, yes, it didn't go as planned, I guess, and we weren't looking really good. But after that, it was just a walk in the park, man. Absolute walk in the park. Phil Foden, who hasn't exactly been first choice, 2 assists. He was no 1 assist. He was brilliant, and was it 2 assists? I can't even remember. But he was brilliant, and the main man, Jude Bellingham. Honestly, for me, I said at the start of the tournament that he's a 19-year-old with the maturity of a 38-year-old. His decision making is just unbelievable. Kevin De Bruyne would look at a player like Jude Bellingham and say, "I like your decision making," and De Bruyne is a king of that on the football pitch. It was just a moment for Jude Bellingham to absolutely savour. And if he hadn't already announced himself to the world as one of the, I can't believe I'm saying this, is only 19, but one of the most complete midfielders in that central position, he did it again. If you are not on the Jude Bellingham hype train, buy a ticket now. He is the real deal. As an Arsenal fan, I want my club to go and just blow 100 mil on him. He is the future of that position. Unbelievable how well he did for the first goal. Just manages to keep defenders at bay with full control of that ball. And then the second goal, my God, he's a machine. He reminds me of sort of Yaya Toure, the authority that he has in the middle of the park and how he can just eat up ground. By the time he played that pass to Foden for the second goal, it was just ridiculous. There were 4 people around him. He's like a vacuum. Everyone gets sucked into him. Other players get so much space. And look where he picked that ball up. He started the counter attack from a Senegal set piece, and he's just bullied Senegal and decided to play the pass exactly when he wants to play the pass. No one can rush him. No one can come near him. He is one hell of a player, and whoever signs him is going to be significantly better from having him in their team. I can't speak highly enough of Jude Bellingham, but clearly I have to talk about Bukayo Saka today as well, because another goal for him. His stock has just gone up and up and up in this World Cup. Did brilliantly as usual. And you know what? First half an hour, I don't think he did very well, to be honest with you. He made a little mistake where Senegal had a chance at goal. And I spoke about Jordan Pickford earlier. Pickford, with that save, if he doesn't make that save, and it was a very good save, it wasn't straight at him, he had to outstretch his arm to get a really strong wrist behind that, then the whole game is different if Senegal go 1-0 up. But Pickford did really well to bail Saka out. And then after that, Saka was just brilliant and scored his goal, took it so, so well. And these are young, young men who are performing so well, and Bellingham and Foden and Saka, brilliant. And then on top of that, you've got the experienced lot like the Hendersons and Harry Kane. And do you know what? Even as an Arsenal fan, I am going to talk about Harry Kane, because he hadn't scored in this tournament prior to this game. But Not once, even as an Arsenal fan, was I thinking he shouldn't be in the team. I think he's the tournament leader for assists. Maybe that's changed now with Mbappe getting an assist earlier today. Who knows? But he's up there anyway in this tournament in terms of getting assists. And he's been brilliant. Let's face it, even as an Arsenal fan, his hold-up play, my God, it's so good. You see defenders, they just can't get the ball off of him. The way he puts his body between defender and ball, I have to be objective and I have to say, even when he doesn't score, he makes a massive, massive difference for the team. Absolutely brilliant. And not that I want to see him score because I'm an Arsenal fan, but he deserves his goal. He absolutely deserves his goal for his performances. So listen, Gareth Southgate has done brilliantly. You have to admit it. And when you look at the previous two tournaments Gareth Southgate has been in, you look at the teams that he's played against with England, and you say, well, you should have won. And that still remains true in this World Cup. If now we've got France, we lose to France and get dumped out, and I say we, I mean, I'm not exactly an England fan, but if England play France and get dumped out, then that remains true of Gareth Southgate. That in all of the games that he's played in the last World Cup, in the last Euros, he's beaten the teams that he should beat. He now needs to get that big scalp under his belt to prove to people that it's not just a case of England win when they're favourites. France, I mean, look, if I'm Kylian Mbappe, Antoine Griezmann, even Olivier Giroud, I'm looking at Maguire's performance today and I'm thinking, I fancy it against you. Because, look, Maguire improved in the second half, but he was shaky at times in that game. And yeah, look, the one saving grace for England is that Kylian Mbappe, unbelievable pace and also unbelievable technical ability. But not many people can match him for pace. But England have got the benefit of Kyle Walker on the right side, and Mbappe plays off the left side for France. So that match is a match made in heaven, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for that moment when one of them decides to, well, I say one of them, Mbappe won't track back. So it has to be when Mbappe decides to try and knock the ball past Kyle Walker and see what unfolds there, whether Mbappe's got the beating of Kyle Walker. If he does, it could prove to be seriously problematic for England. But I think in that game, Kyle Walker will just have to have a bit of discipline, match Mbappe stride for stride. But look, if I'm Griezmann and I'm thinking, fine, Maguire, I'm going to absolutely tear you apart. Giroud or Maguire, I'm going to tear you apart. Even John Stones didn't look perfect in that game. So I think that could be England's undoing. I put France as favourites. I expect England to go out. Let me know what you think is going to happen in that massive, massive clash now. And yeah, man, listen, well done to England. Well done to Saka. Well done to a lot of the lads. But now the real test comes with France.